Good morning. It is Saturday, March 7th at South Scylla Farms, and we're over at our raised beds. And just thought I'd give you an update on what we're doing today. It's bright and sunny, so it's definitely considered a grow day. Here's some of our seedlings that we have out, just catching a little bit of sun. All of our peppers, some beets, and a couple of tomatoes. And we previously showed you our raised bed for our onions. So these are our green onions, and I really wanted a raised bed. It's intense and takes a long time to plant green onions, so why not do it at waist level so you can really get in there and plant them correctly. Those are our leek beds. Our lovely dogs got in there and trampled on them a bit, so we put the red fencing around them. And then there at the end are our Vidalia onions that just went in. So this is our raised bed area, and it's actually not part of the farm. It's behind our home, and the reason we do that is we grow in these beds 12 months out of the year, so we want to keep them close to the house where we can monitor them. We can run out and put the cloths on them, when the row covers when needed, and we can run out and get some food for lunch or dinner if we want to. So everyone's asked me about our raised bed, so I thought I'd give you a tour and give you an explanation of what we've got going on here. So these are beets and radishes. These are called Easter egg radishes, and we grow these 12 months out of the year. They're 3 different colors, and they're just beautiful on a plate. And so we will consistently pull out of this bed. Here's another bed of those radishes, and we have a bed of them in our greenhouse. Our high tunnel, and those grow a bit more quickly, but we keep them inside and out. These little guys here, you can see this wire. This is part of our row cover, and it allows us to grow 12 months out of the year. So we just buy these in bulk, and we bend them to fit in the different high tunnels. And then we have this what's called a row cover. We got this from Farm Tech, and it's off today obviously because it's beautiful weather, but it's actually doubled up, and it allows the heat to stay in the bed overnight. So if we know that it's going to be a cold night or a windy night, we may pull this over before sunset, and it traps the heat in, and it actually allows the bed not to get frostbite, and it allows for each layer that you do, they say it's 2 to 3 degrees warmer inside. So a double layer gives me about 6 degrees warmer than it is outside. So it's really helped keep all of our crops very, very healthy. Real quickly, here's our spinach bed. We have 2 types of spinach going in here, and it is in 4 different stages, succession planting. We pull out of this bed in the winter. We only pull for mixed greens, so we'll mix it in with our greens. And every once in a while we'll pull a bit of spinach, but we really just like to mix it with greens at this point. This bed is a mishmash, so it really has some curly leaf in it, but we also have spinach in it, and we've just overseeded it with spinach. So when I overseed, what I do is I come in and I will sprinkle spinach seed completely over the bed, and then I just come in and sprinkle dirt on top of it. Really, a spinach seed only needs to be like an 1/8 inch deep, so it's just a lot quicker to be able to do that technique. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it works for me, so I'm gonna use it. This is a bed of kohlrabi, and it's been growing for a while. It definitely has grown slower out here than it has in our high tunnel, and I'll show you a bit later of how the difference in the high tunnel versus out here. And then again, we have a mismatch bed. So in this bed is beautiful curly leaf lettuce that overwintered, and it came back out. We have some white, beautiful icicle radishes coming up that I stuck in at the beginning of winter. And then something that I did this year is I didn't pull out the beets. So I left some beets that were not ready, and I just decided to use these beets not for the beet itself, but for the beet greens. So I've been pulling beet greens off of these beets for probably 6 months now, and they just continue to come back. Beets are really, really important. I find that you do have to cover them when it gets extremely cold, or it will stop the growth cycle very quickly. This is a new bed of collard greens, and again we have collard greens in our high tunnel, and those will be coming out for spring very quickly. We'll pull those out of the high tunnel, and then we'll pull from this bed over the spring and early summer. This is a bed of mustard greens that we're currently migrating to new season greens, so you can see that we've put in the new greens and they're coming on really well, and as they come in we'll pull the old greens out. Here is a beautiful bed of Johnny seed leaf lettuce. We just love this lettuce. It's very hardy. It lasts throughout the season, and we cut and come again off this bed, and we will mix this with our hydroponic lettuce sometimes, and we will mix it with our spinach as well. This bed and the other two beds next to it, these are our silky white turnips, and they are simply wonderful. So they're growing quite well. We've been pulling off this bed. We've actually had some in the high tunnel as well. We just started harvesting off of this bed, and we will continue to plant this turnip through May, and then we'll start planting it again in late August. So here's an example. Let me get out of the shade. So here's an example of the next seeds that have been planted of the same turnip, and then here you can barely see it, but I think you can. They're just coming up again. So really important if you're going to be doing farmers market farming, that you always have that succession planning going, and when you think you have enough, you should probably plant double what you have, because it sells very quickly. People just love this stuff. This is a kale bed that's being formed into spring kale. So you'll see that the kale here is just coming up, and this is just leftover kale from the winter, but it's beautiful and it's healthy. We call this Jameson blend because our grandson planted it for us, and it's actually been one of the best sellers because it's actually a 3-leaf kale. So the other bed that we have going on over here, I hope you can hear me because these chickens next to us are very loud. This is just a bed of chard, rainbow chard that we've planted and we continue to pull from, and we actually mix this with our hydroponic as well. So that's something I'll show you in a different video. And then just real quickly, here's our girls. They're wanting to know if they can have a snack. They're tucked into their cage. They are considered cage free, but we do have a cover on them so that the hawks and whatnot don't get them. So these are our raised beds. These are what we really take care of, and we keep close to the house so that we can do so. And then in a future video, we'll take you over to the greenhouses and show you what we've got going on over there. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.